Learn about the world. Denmark. Denmark is a Scandinavian country in Northern Europe. Denmark is located in the southernmost part of the Nordic countries, southwest of Sweden and south of Norway and south of Germany. The Kingdom of Denmark is a sovereign state consisting of Denmark and two autonomous states in the North Atlantic, the Faroe Islands and Greenland. The country consists of a large peninsula, Jutland, and several other archipelagos. The islands are characterized by flat, arable land and sandy coastlines, low altitude and a temperate climate. Basic information. Full name, Kingdom of Denmark. Government type, constitutional monarchy. ISO, DK, DNK. Country code, DK. Time zone, +1 o'clock. Telephone code, +45. Capital, Copenhagen. Largest cities in Denmark: Copenhagen, Aarhus, Odense, Aalborg, Esbjerg, Randers, Kolding, Horsens, Vel, Roskilde. Area: 42,924 square kilometers. Terrain: low, flat hills. Highest point is 173 meters. Climate: temperate. Topography, location and westerly winds make the weather changeable. Population: 5,998,328, 2024 May. Main ethnic groups: Scandinavian, German, Inuit, Greenland, Faroese. Religions: Lutheran 84.3%, Catholic, Jewish, other Protestants and Muslims about 5%. Languages: Danish, German, Faroese, Greenlandic. English is the second most spoken language. Natural resources: petroleum, natural gas, fish, salt, limestone, slate, stone, gravel, and sand. Agricultural products: barley, wheat, potatoes, sugar beets, pork, dairy products, fish. Industrial products: iron, steel, non-ferrous metals. Chemicals, food processing, machinery and transport equipment, textiles, electronics, construction, furniture and other wood products, shipbuilding and refurbishment, windmills. Exports: machinery and equipment, meat and meat products, dairy products, fish, pharmaceuticals, furniture, windmills. Export partners: Germany, Sweden, USA, Norway, UK, Netherlands, China. Imports: machinery, equipment, raw materials, semi-finished products for industry, chemicals, cereals and food, consumer goods. Import partners: Germany, Sweden, Netherlands, China, Norway, UK. Currency: Danish krone, DKK. Foreign relation: the foreign policy of Denmark is based on its identity as a sovereign state in Europe, the Arctic and the North Atlantic. As such, its primary foreign policy focus is on its relations with other nations as a sovereign state comprising the three constituent countries, Denmark, Greenland and the Faroe Islands. Denmark has long had good relations with other nations. It has been involved in coordinating Western assistance to the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. The country is a strong supporter of international peacekeeping. Denmark also strongly supported American operations in Afghanistan and has contributed both monetarily and materially to the ISAF. These initiatives are a part of the active foreign policy of Denmark. Instead of the traditional adaptive foreign policy of the unity of the realm, Kingdom of Denmark is today pursuing an active foreign policy, where human rights, democracy and other crucial values are to be defended actively. In recent years, Greenland and the Faroe Islands have been guaranteed a say in foreign policy issues, such as fishing, whaling and geopolitical concerns. Denmark has been a member of NATO since its founding in 1949. And membership in NATO remains highly popular. There were several serious confrontations between the US and Denmark on security policy in the so-called footnote era, 1982–88. When an alternative parliamentary majority forced the government to adopt specific national positions on nuclear and arms control issues. International disputes. Denmark is trying to prove that the North Pole is geographically connected to Greenland. If such proof is established, the kingdom will claim the North Pole, an island located between Greenland and Canadian Arctic islands. Unresolved boundary disputed between Canada and Denmark. The state of Denmark is responsible for Greenland's foreign relations. On the 14th of June 2022, both countries agreed to split the disputed island in half. In accordance with the Greenland Home Rule Treaty, Denmark handles certain foreign affairs, such as border disputes, on behalf of the entire Danish realm. The foreign policy of Denmark is substantially influenced by its membership of the European Union, EU. Denmark, including Greenland, joined the European Economic Community, EEC, the EU's predecessor. In 1973, Denmark held the presidency of the Council of the European Union on 7 occasions, most recently from January to June 2012. As a member of Development Assistance Committee, DAC, Denmark has for a long time been among the countries of the world contributing the largest percentage of gross national income to development aid. The country participates in both bilateral and multilateral aid, with the aid usually administered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The organizational name of Danish International Development Agency, DANIDA, is often used, in particular when operating bilateral aid. According to the 2024 Global Peace Index, Denmark is the 8th most peaceful country in the world. Human rights. Denmark is usually considered a progressive country, which has adopted legislation and policies to support women's rights, minority rights, and LGBT rights. Human rights in Denmark are protected by the state's constitution of the realm, applying equally in Denmark proper, Greenland and the Faroe Islands. And through the ratification of international human rights treaties, Denmark has held a significant role in the adoption of both the European Convention on Human Rights and in the establishment of the European Court of Human Rights, ECHR. In 1987, the Kingdom Parliament, Folketinget, established a national human rights institution, the Danish Centre of Human Rights, now the Danish Institute for Human Rights. Human rights in the Kingdom of Denmark are protected by the state's constitution of the realm, Danmarks Riges Grundlov, applying equally in Denmark proper, Greenland and the Faroe Islands. And through the ratification of international human rights treaties, Denmark has held a significant role in the adoption of both the European Convention on Human Rights and in the establishment of the European Court of Human Rights, ECHR. In 1987, the Kingdom Parliament, Folketinget, established a national human rights institution, the Danish Centre of Human Rights, now the Danish Institute for Human Rights. In its 2024 Freedom in the World report, Freedom House rated the country free, with a score of 97 out of 100. Section 71 of the Constitution focuses on inalienable rights, as well as ensuring citizens' protection from unreasonable restraint and guaranteeing one's right to a fair trial. Section 77 of the Constitution guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of the press, both of which are recognized as human rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. Section 79 of the Constitution protects citizens' right to gather for peaceful assembly. This is recognized as a human right under international human rights instruments such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the European Convention on Human Rights. Freedom of assembly is understood as the right to protest peacefully and without arms. In its 2024 Freedom in the World report, Freedom House rated the country 4 out of 4 for religious freedom. Denmark was the first country to recognize registered partnerships between same-sex couples in a law enacted on 7 June 1989. This granted the LGBTQ community many of the same rights as heterosexual couples. However, it did not grant them the right to adopt or obtain joint custody of a child. Transport in Denmark is developed and modern. The motorway network covers 1,111 kilometers while the railway network totals 2,667 kilometers of operational track. The Great Belt Fixed Link, opened in 1997, connecting the islands of Zealand and Funen, and the new Little Belt Bridge, opened in 1970, connecting Funen and Jutland, greatly improved the traffic flow across the country on both motorways and rail. The two largest airports of Copenhagen and Billund provide a variety of domestic and international connections, while ferries provide services to the Faroe Islands, Greenland, Iceland, Germany, Sweden, and Norway, as well as domestic routes servicing most Danish islands. Copenhagen Airport is the largest airport in Scandinavia, handling approximately 29 meters passengers per year, 2016. It is located at Kastrup, 8 kilometers southeast of central Copenhagen. It is connected by train to Copenhagen Central Station and beyond, as well as to Malmö and other towns in Sweden. For the west of the country, the major airport is Billund, although both Aalborg and Aarhus have smaller airports with regular connections to Copenhagen. Maritime transport has always been important in Denmark. From the primitive dugouts of the Stone Age to the complex designs of the Viking ships in the Viking Age, often built to exactly facilitate large-scale cargo and passenger transportation. Denmark also engaged in the large-scale cargo freights and slave transports of the European colonization endeavors in the Middle Ages and operated several smaller colonies of its own across the globe. By the means of seafaring, today Denmark's ports handle some 48 million passengers and 109 million tons of cargo per year. Passenger traffic is made up partly of ferry crossings within Denmark, partly of international ferry crossings, and partly of cruise ship passengers. Some short ferry routes are being electrified and several more may be eligible, as in Norway. Among the most important ports for cargo traffic, millions of tons per year in 2007, are Fredericia, Aarhus, Copenhagen, Helsingør, Esbjerg, Kalundborg, Frederikshavn, Aalborg, Portland, Aalborg, Odense. Waterways have historically and traditionally been crucial to local transportation in Denmark proper. Especially the Gudina River system in central Jutland has played an important role. The waterways were navigated by wooden barges and later on steamboats. A few historical steamboats are still in operation. Like the SS Jejelen from 1861 at Silkeborg, there is a 160 km natural canal through the shallow Limfjorden in northern Jutland, linking the North Sea to the Kattegat. Many waterways has formerly been redirected and led through man-made canals in the 1900s, but mainly for agricultural purposes and not to facilitate transportation on any major scale. Several cities have man-made canals used for transportation and traffic purposes. Of special mention are the canals of Copenhagen and the Odense Canal, ferrying large numbers of both tourists and local citizens. Denmark has a large merchant fleet relative to its size. Denmark has created its own international register, called the Danish International Ship Register, DIS, open to commercial vessels only. DIS ships do not have to meet Danish manning regulations. The largest railway operator in Denmark is Danske Statsbaner, DSB, Danish State Railways. Arriva operates some routes in Jutland, and several other smaller operators provide local services. The total length of operational track is 3,476 kilometers standard gauge, with 1,756 kilometers electrified. The railway system is connected to Sweden by bridge in Copenhagen and ferry in Helsingør and Frederikshavn, by land to Germany in Padborg and ferry in Rodby, and to Norway by ferry in Hirtshals. The road network in 2017 totaled 74,558 kilometers of paved road. Motorways are toll-free except for the Great Belt Bridge joining Zealand and Funen and the Øresund Bridge linking Copenhagen to Malmö in Sweden. Bicycling in Denmark is a common and popular utilitarian and recreational activity. Bicycling infrastructure is a dominant feature of both city and countryside infrastructure. With bicycle paths and bicycle ways in many places and an extensive network of bicycle routes, extending more than 12,000 kilometers, 7,500 miles, nationwide. Education in Denmark is compulsory for children below the age of 15 or 16. Even though it is not compulsory to attend folkeskole, public school. The school years up to the age of 15, 16 are known as folkeskole, since any education has to match the level offered there. About 82% of young people take further education in addition to this. Government-funded education is usually free of charge and open to all. Denmark has a tradition of private schools and about 15.6% of all children at basic school level attend private schools, which are supported by a voucher system. The Education Index, published with the UN's Human Development Index in 2008, based on data from 2013, lists Denmark as 0.873, amongst the highest in the world, beneath Australia, Finland and New Zealand. Literacy in Denmark is approximately 99% for both men and women. Secondary education usually takes 2 to 4 years and is attended by students between the ages of 15 to 16 and 18 to 19. Secondary education is not compulsory, but usually free of charge. And students have a wide range of programs to choose from. Some education programs are academically oriented, the most common being the gymnasium. Higher education in Denmark can take place at a number of different institutions that offer educations of different types. Only universities offer education at the master level, while university colleges offer certain bachelor degrees, but may collaborate with a university to offer a master-level degree, such as the MA in Journalism at Aarhus University being a collaboration with the Danish School of Media and Journalism. Bachelor degree are either academic bachelor degrees at universities or professional bachelor degrees at university colleges. But universities may also offer professional bachelor degrees, and for instance, you can take the education to become a social worker at Aalborg University. Business academies offer 2-year academy profession programs. Some business academies also offer professional bachelor programs, further adult education and diploma programs. The maritime education institutions offer study programs for the Danish merchant fleet and the fishing industry. Danish university colleges offer profession-specific tertiary education, also known as medium higher education, MVU, and diploma courses, but do not offer university education at postgraduate level. The institutions in architecture and art offer various degree programs within the fine arts and applied arts. The first university in Denmark, University of Copenhagen, was established in 1479. The second, University of Kiel in Schleswig-Holstein, was established in 1665. Higher education in Denmark is free for students from the European Union and Switzerland. Many programs are taught in English, including bachelor's, master's, PhD, exchange, and summer school programs. Almost all educational institutes in Denmark are free. Not only are students charged no tuition fees, but all Danish citizens over 18, and many others meeting certain criteria, are offered monthly financial aid, known as SU, Statens Uddannelsesstøtte, meaning state educational support, amounting for each student to about 950 Danish kroner monthly if the student lives with their parents or guardians, and they have high incomes, and about 5,486 Danish kroner monthly if the student lives away from their parents or guardians. Students can supplement the SU with low-interest government loans amounting to 2,807 Danish kroner per month, which must be paid back upon the completion of their education. Wright and Orberg, 2008, came to a critical conclusion on the Danish system of higher education. The Danish model combines the worst of both the free trade and the modernizing state models of autonomy, universities. Their leaders and academics are given freedom in the sense of individual responsibility for their own economic survival, whilst the sector comes under heavy political control. This is called setting universities free. In a 2017 comparative study on academic freedom in the universities of 28 European Union members, Denmark ranks only 24th. In all categories: academic freedom in legislation, institutional autonomy in legislation, self-governance in legislation, job security, constitution and international agreements, Denmark rank below the EU average. The authors of the study argue that the restrictions on academic freedom in Denmark would, in most other EU states, be considered draconian. Healthcare in Denmark is largely provided by the local governments of the 5 regions, with coordination and regulation by central government, while nursing homes, home care, and school health services are the responsibility of the 98 municipalities. Some specialized hospital services are managed centrally. Danish government healthcare expenditures amount to approximately 10.4% of the GDP, of which around 84% is funded from regional and municipal taxation redistributed by the central government. Because necessary healthcare is taxpayer-funded, personal expenses are minimal and usually associated with copayments for certain services. Those expenses are usually covered by private health insurance. Use of electronic health records is widespread, and efforts are underway to integrate these at the regional level. For every 1,000 people in Denmark, there are about 3.4 doctors and 2.5 hospital beds. Spending on hospital facilities, at 43% of total healthcare spending, is above the average for Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, countries, even though the number of beds has decreased considerably. Child vaccination coverage is over 90%. Mortality from heart disease decreased in the years up to 2015, while life expectancy increased. The central government plays a relatively limited role in healthcare in Denmark. Its main functions are to regulate, coordinate and provide advice, and its main responsibilities are to establish goals for national health policy, determining national health legislation, formulating regulation, promoting cooperation between different healthcare actors, providing guidelines for the health sector, providing health and healthcare-related information, promoting quality and tackling patient complaints. Local government: the 5 regions are responsible for hospitals and general practitioners. They are financed mainly through income taxes. The 98 local communes have long had responsibilities for nursing homes and care services. Local political accountability to a population with a large proportion of elderly people means that these services get political attention. Denmark does not have nationwide electronic health records. It is mandatory for primary care practices and hospitals to use EHRs. The Danish Health Data Network, Medcom, acts as a data integrator to ensure interoperability. The 5 regions are attempting to address this problem by each setting up their own electronic health record systems for public hospitals. However, All patient data will still be registered in the National e-Journal. In 2016, the Danish healthcare expenditure amounted to $5,205 per capita, approximately 10.4% of GDP. With around 84.0% of healthcare expenditure being funded by governmental or compulsory means. According to the OECD, in 2016 the private healthcare expenditure in Denmark was $831 US dollars per capita, approximately 1.7% of GDP. The private healthcare insurance aids in covering a variety of copayments not fully covered by public healthcare funding. Citizens of Denmark may choose between two different types of health insurance groups, 1 and 2. Most are in Group 1, which includes the majority of general practitioners, who are paid on a combined capitation and fee-for-service basis in a similar way to those in the United Kingdom. Hospital care is mainly provided by hospitals owned and run by the regions. This is similar to the model in other Scandinavian countries. Denmark has made dramatic advances in the reduction of heart disease mortality according to the Euro Health Consumer Index. Denmark is one of the world's leaders in the use of healthcare technology. Virtually all primary care physicians have electronic medical records with full clinical functionality. Due to the expanding ability to diagnose and treat psychiatric problems, Denmark has enhanced its treatment system for those dealing with a psychiatric issue. The National Childhood Vaccination Program in Denmark provides vaccinations to children for many diseases, including diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough. Sport in Denmark is diverse. The national sport is running, but club sport is football. Other popular sports include handball, esports, cycling, sailing sports, badminton, ice hockey, swimming, and recently also golf. A few youths also play basketball. Sport is encouraged in school, and there are local sports clubs in all cities and most towns. The national stadium for football is the Parken Stadium. Football is the most popular sport in Denmark, with over 313,000 players in more than 1,600 clubs. The national football team in Denmark have reached high and notable results, like qualifying for the UEFA Championships 6 times in a row, 1984 to 2004, and winning the UEFA Championship in 1992. Other significant achievements include winning the Confederations Cup in 1995 and reaching the quarter-final of the 1998 World Cup. Denmark national football team reached number 3 ranking in the FIFA ranking in May 1997, and number 1 at the World Football Elo ratings system in 1912 to 1920. The top league in Danish football is called the Danish Superliga. The reigning champions 2022-2023 season are FC Copenhagen. The second-level league is the Danish First Division, followed by Danish Second Division and Danish Third Division. All clubs in the first 4 leagues are allowed to use professional players. The leagues below can only use amateur players without contract. The top women's league is the Kvindeliggen. Hey Aarhus are the most successful team. With 10 titles, the Premier Cup competition is the Danish Cup. Denmark has a long history with handball, with the sport originating in Denmark. Handball is one of the most popular pastimes in Denmark, only exceeded by football. Both the male and female national teams have reached high international rankings. Denmark women's national handball team have won the Olympics gold medal a record 3 times, the European Women's Handball Championship 3 times, and the World Women's Handball Championship once. The male national team won the European Men's Handball Championship in 2008 and 2012, won gold at the Olympics in 2016 and has become world champions 4 times in a row, in 2019, 2021. 2023 and 2025, which is a feat no other country has managed. Denmark have marked their status as one of the leading motorcycle speedway countries. Denmark has won the Speedway World Cup 4 times in 2006, 2008, 2012 and 2014 and came second in 2007, missing only 2 points to Poland. There are 6 Danish ice hockey players currently in the National Hockey League, NHL. Lars Eller of the Washington Capitals, Frederik Andersen of the Carolina Hurricanes, Nikolai Ehlers of the Winnipeg Jets, Oliver Bjorkstrand of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Mads Sagor of the Ottawa Senators and Jonas Rondberg of the Vegas Golden Knights. The Denmark men's national ice hockey team have been in the best division since 2003. Denmark is Europe's strongest badminton country. Danish players have won 11 gold medals at the World Championships since 1977. 63 gold medals at the European Badminton Championships since 1968, and 19 titles at the Europe Cup since 1978. The premier international badminton tournament in Denmark is the Denmark Open, which is part of the BWF World Tour. In recent years, Denmark has made a mark as a strong cycling nation, with Bjarne Riis winning Tour de France in 1996, Michael Rasmussen reaching King of the Mountain status in the Tour 2005 and 2006. Jonas Vingegaard winning the Tour de France in 2022 and 2023 and Matthias Skjemos winning the 2023 Tour de Suisse. Golf has become a highly popular sport in recent years in Denmark with more than 180 courses across the country. American football is a minor sport in Denmark with well under 1,000 players. The governing body, the Danish American Football Federation, was formed in 1988. The top-level league is the National Ligaen. Denmark's national team had a few strong showings at senior and youth level. The Bakken Bears currently hold the attendance record for a single basketball game in Denmark. Denmark has many great boxers, including former super middleweight World Boxing Council world champion and super middleweight World Boxing Association (WBA) world champion, Mikkel Kessler. Cricket has a little presence in Denmark, but the Denmark national cricket team has been performing well in Europe. In Denmark, there is also a small but successful group of people doing motorsport. Denmark has various mixed martial arts fighters, with the most prominent being Martin Kampmann. The Danish flag football team is one of the best flag football teams in the world, having won a record 6 consecutive EFAF European Flag Football Championship and 2 bronze medals.